Tomy's Digital Derby, the Auto Raceway. This is a phenomenal electromechanical game from Tomy back in the late 70s. I had their Blip, the electromechanical Pong game, but I didn't have a Digital Derby. I had some friends that had it, and it was actually a lot of fun to play. It's a really cool electromechanical game. Up here you have your timer that gives you a timed run. You want to see how far you can get down the raceway before the timer runs out. You got your lap counter down here. That'll count up as you race. You have your steering, to where you can steer your car back and forth. Then you have your start and reset. Basically, you hold this down until you get the timer to the S position, let off, and then you start racing. Anytime you crash, you got to hold this down to drive past the crash and let off, so the lap counter start to count again, and you start racing. That's the way it keeps you from cheating, just holding this down to let it run up the lap counter. I guess if you re-geared it or disconnected the gear from this, I could probably just cheat that way, but no, we're not going to do that. You got your gear shift over here, neutral, first gear, second gear, and third gear. Now what's really neat is the way it gives you the illusion of speed. You're sitting in neutral, this line in the center will just sit there. Then as you shift this up, that line will start to move. And the higher the gear, the faster the line moves to give you more sense of a speed on the screen, and the cars start moving faster. You actually got three belts in here. You got a belt for this lane, a belt for that lane, and a smaller belt for the center lane. And they all move in all these different ways to cause the traffic to change and all this stuff. The gearing inside of this is absolutely incredible. This was donated to the show by Down the Rabbit Hole. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel down below. He sent this as a thank you for repairing his Space Chaser mechanical game that I did a video on earlier. He wanted to send me one that was working, but this is all he had. He had this for quite a while. And he's got one that's working right now. So he decided, he asked me if I would like to have this as a thank you. I said, well, why not? I don't care if it doesn't work. It gives me something to mess around with. And I got this one working. It wasn't that bad, actually. What was wrong with this is there was a bad connection to the battery tray over here. I had to resolder. On the back side up there, there's this large black plate that has a bunch of electrical contacts on it that controls the flashing light, the crash light, and controls some other things up here. I got that all super glued back together. You can see in this picture right here where all the damage was on that plate. It was all broken up from the plastic getting brittle. Another thing I had to repair, there's a shaft over here with a couple gears on it that were just spinning on the shaft because the gears actually cracked. These little guys right here, this is common to find. Oh, well, there went that one. This is common to find as a problem in these these old toys. These gears get brittle, and then they crack, and they lose their mechanical grip on the shaft that they're on, and they'll start to slip. And that was causing the center lane not to work, and caused the lap counter not to work, and it was causing one of the lanes not to work as well. So I substituted some gears on there that I had, got that working. And then the last thing I had to fix was the flashing crash light. That was a simple thing. It was part of this plate repair at the very top. Once I got that all repaired, the flashing crash light started to work. So now this is a fully operational game. It's amazing Tomy did this kind of stuff back then. Their design engineers were phenomenal in making these electromechanical games. Like I said, the gearing inside of here is just a sight to behold. If you'd like to see a really cool teardown video, a complete teardown and repair, check out Randy Rain's YouTube channel. She has a video over there called Tomy Digital Derby, Complete Breakdown and Repair. I've watched that video a couple times just to learn the internals of this before I did my repair, and it helped a lot. Randy tears apart a lot of different things and repairs them, and it's kind of cool to see how all these vintage toys used to work. If you're trying to do a repair of one of these kind of toys, go check out her channel. She may have repaired one. You'll get some tips on what to do in repairing yours. Pretty awesome. I'll put a link to her channel, and the video on her channel, down below. Now, on the back side here, we have the battery compartment. Takes 2 C batteries. And we have some simple instructions back here for the game. Basically, the object of the game is race as far as you can go. The counter goes from 0 to 99, then it rolls over. You turn your lap counter to 0, shift to gear 1, press your start till your timer gets to the S position, which is start, then release. Then you start to race, your lap counter starts to go. If you crash, you hold the reset down to get past the crash, let off as soon as you can to get back to racing again. The whole time your timer's counting down, so you want to get back to racing as quick as you can to see how far you go. Now, this originally retailed for around $12.99 back in the late 70s, which is about $60 to $61 in 2023. So it wasn't a cheap toy back then, that's for sure. But it's still a cool toy, and I guess Sears had a version of this called Grand Prix, and there was another one called Action Racer by Alp Toys. I've never seen those in person. I've never seen the Sears one, even back then in the stores. All I've ever seen is this one here. I very rarely run across these in my travels when I go to vintage toy stores, antique malls, things like that. I see a lot of blips, but I don't see a lot of digital derbies at all. It's kind of strange. Anyway, it's just one of those things, I guess. So, let's go ahead and power this thing up and see how far I can get. I'm going to try to beat Randy Rain's score of 85 that she had in that video that I linked down below. So I want to see if I can beat her score. So here we go. Alright, let's get ready to play it. You're going to notice there's a couple wires right here. That's because I'm using a couple Coleco PermaPower batteries in this to power it up instead of using C-cell batteries. But anyway. So, we put it in gear 1 to start the game. And we got my lap counter set to 0 right now. So we got to hold the reset button to get past this wreck I'm at right now. And we have to get the gauge to the start position up there. So, okay. Get to the start position. And away we go. And I wrecked already. Whoa, go fast. Oh! Oh no! I'm not as good as playing this game as Randy is. Ah! Oh! Yeah, I'm pretty bad at this game. Oh, jeez! Oh! Ah! Oh! 40. Only got to 40 that time. That was a very bad run. Let's reset the lap counter again here. Okay, got it to 0. Okay, let's put myself here. Let's get the counter started to 1. And let's go. And I crashed again. Whoa. Oh! Got rear-ended. Oh! Ah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to beat 85. Oh! What did I get this time? Oh, I did worse. 38. No! Try it again. Away we go. real careful not to get rear-ended. Oh! Ah! No! I am a bad race driver. Ah! 36. I'm doing worse and worse the longer I play it. Anyway, such a really cool game. Now, if you have a Google Play device, that you get Google Play, I believe they're Android devices, you can download a electronic version of this to play on your Android device. It's called Electro Derby. It's a free download. It's actually a pretty cool representation of this game from Tomy. It's a lot of fun to play. I'm playing it using the BlueStacks emulator on my Windows PC. Is how I'm playing this game, because I don't have an Android device to show the game being played on an Android phone or anything like that. But the BlueStacks emulator works just fine for playing this game. I use the mouse for steering and all that good stuff. So anyway, that's Tomy's Digital Derby, the auto raceway game from the late 70s. Such an awesome toy. Did you guys ever have one of these back in the day? If so, tell me about it. Down in the comments down below, I'd like to hear about it. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Alright, let's reset this thing. I gotta try to beat Randy. Go back to 0. Oh, great. Right off the bat, a wreck. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, go. Oh. Get by the traffic. Whip, 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 up. Oh. Oh, man. My insurance is really expensive. Hey, 61. Awesome. I did better that time.
Digital Derby Auto Raceway comes complete with lap counter and timer by Tomy.